We're back here in the locker room with Billy Schweim on 97.3 ESPN and the 97.3 ESPN mobile app. Scotty McKay's at his house. I'm at my house, and our producer Josh is back at the studio pushing all the buttons. And let's read our House Master Home Inspection Twitter poll question of the day. Should Major League Baseball players accept the owner's proposal for a sliding pay scale? Right now, 27% say yes. 73% say no. Keep the votes coming in. At Locker Room 973 is my Twitter poll handle. Now, Scooter, I'm really excited about my first guest today because he's a South Jersey native, and it's pretty cool the way I became to know Steve. I played college football at Lees-McRae College, and the starting quarterback who I played behind, Earl Clinton, went on to Guilford College, where he met in North Carolina, where he met Steve. Steve Wilmont is a native of South Jersey, Morristown High School. So let's go to the sports hotline and welcome into the locker room the tournament director for the RBC Classic down here in Hilton Head, South Carolina, Steve Wilmont. What's up, Steve?
Billy, good morning, buddy. I hope all's well. It's funny, people ask me where I'm from, and I tell them I'm a Southern at heart, being from South Jersey, exit 4 in the Jersey Turnpike. But no, thank you so much for having me. Yeah, and what a small world and connection with you having gone to Collingswood, and my mom went to Collingswood High, and
I didn't know that, Steve. I did not know that. Your mom went to Collingswood?
She sure did. Her whole family, and ironically, my family still lives in Morristown. Unfortunately, my dad passed away a couple of years ago, but he was a quarterback at Morristown High in '49. I played football, basketball, and baseball in '78. Those years up there, and came down to Guilford College in Greensboro, North Carolina, to play football, and really never left.
Steve, now that I think about it, Steve, Collingswood used to scrimmage Morristown in the obviously in the preseason, and I started varsity my sophomore year, so that was 1978. Were you playing quarterback then?
Yes, yeah, we were. I was on the my sophomore year in '75. Morristown with the South Jersey State champs. We beat Sterling that year. John Havers and others was leading that charge and all, and. It's funny. I tell people, I played quarterback in high school. I played defensive back in college, and now I could be an offensive lineman. But that's not necessarily a good thing. But no, it's been it's been a great run. I continue to learn, and it's interesting how I got into this industry and business. But this tournament coming up, which is really my 34th and a half, I guess you can say, because the event was canceled in April, but rescheduled here for June, and we're ready to get started in a couple weeks.
Now, Steve, you when I was reading your bio and I was talking to our good friend Earl Clinton, I mean, that's how I got to come to know you through Earl. But reading your bio was funny how they put you're the tournament director of the RBC. You were a 3 sports star. But golf wasn't one of them.
Yeah, well, that's another story. I tell people here I live on Hilton Head Island. My golf stinks. My tennis is terrible. Boy, I'm playing good basketball. I mean, what does that tell you? So, but no, I love the game. It's interesting. The story about it too. I spent some time with the Philadelphia Baltimore Stars right in that transition year when they. Well, I went to college, and then I went to Wake Forest and coached football, and then went to graduate school, and then came up a gentleman, actually, ironically, a gentleman who was with the Eagles and the Stars at that time. His sister was good friends with my parents, and that was Leo Carlin, the ticket manager, and he was the one that kind of said, "Hey, Steve, you've been in the sports, you want to?" So here I am, ironically, having always wished I was in football. And when I run into a lot of these football coaches and people, I look at them going, "Man, I wish I was in football," and they look at me going, "Man, I wish I was in golf." So it's one of those things. And I had this opportunity with the Carolinas PGA back in the spring of '86, and I started here this summer of '86, and my first tournament was 1987 Heritage, which actually Davis Love had won. He's gone on to win 5 times and some other things. So it's been
And of course, Steve, you're good friends with our good friend Ken Dunnick, who's the publisher of the Jersey Man magazine.
Yeah, well, actually, when I had my opportunity there, I worked with the Stars. I truly was a nobody. I mean, I was just a young kid filling up Carl Peterson's car with gas and getting sandwiches and doing some other things. But now, Ken was there then, and then through the Stars reunion a few years ago, I was invited to be a part of the reunion, which I felt honored, and I went up there, and it was great to see. Jim Moore and Carl Peterson and others were up there, and a lot of the players and the front office people who I spent time with. I wasn't from the playing side, but I was a part of, which was an incredible experience in itself. We had, as you know, we were evicted from Veterans Stadium, went to the University of Penn, and had away games closer to their home games and all. But the interesting thing, and you'll all get a chuckle out of this too. A real story behind this is after the Stars folded the USFL, I was kind of soul searching, and I had a good friend of mine that had an employment agency up there, and I was Santa Claus at the biggest mall in South Jersey at Cherry Hill. And here I am having so here I had a master's degree in one hand, and kids sitting in my other hand, lap. And so if I didn't take the job with the Carolinas PGA that spring, I would have been the Easter Bunny. So that's a true story, But I've been down here. I've been here. I've been here 35 years. I tell people it's a little over 30 pounds I've been here, but that's another story.
Right.
But it's been fun. It's been great to be in this industry, this business, working with obviously great professionals, golf itself, the PGA Tour, working with CBS as we do, and all our great partners. It's pretty special, and this year is really a unique year in itself.
Well, Steve, it's Scott McKay, Billy's co-host, and it's funny. I'm playing Philly Cricket Club with Ken Dunnick on June 16th. There's a little tournament up there, so I'm going up there to play with Ken. So I'll tell him you said hello.
Oh, but please do.
I will. And also, I'm sorry. I mean, the Morristown thing, I had to boo a little bit because I'm the head coach of the ice hockey team at Cherokee, and Morristown's one of our big rivals that we've been playing the last couple of years. So earlier, I apologize for booing Morristown a little bit. So, but what I wanted to talk to you about was,
sure.
I mean, I don't think people realize it. And my best friend Brian Propp played for the Flyers for years, and he had a tournament down at Blue Heron for years, a charity-driven thing, and it's a lot of work to put even a small end tournament like that together. What you kind of do is, I don't think people realize, our listeners even realize how much the effort that the sponsors you have to get it, and you've had your issues with sponsors in the past. What I've seen back in 2011, you lost a big title sponsor. That can crush a tournament. And then you've got to, down there, you've got to deal with hurricanes. I think in 2015 you had Hurricane Matthew, where you have to plan all around this stuff, and now you've got to plan a tournament with no fans. And
geez, you're making me feel bad now in a way.
Yeah, but, I'm trying to let people know all the work.
It's one of those things, and it goes back to even maybe the sports days and working with teams. I guess you can consider me a head coach, but it's truly a team effort, and people don't realize that the event that traditionally is the week after the Masters, the premier event in all of golf, if not of all sports, really is traditionally that's our week. But we plan 53 weeks out of the year, if not 13 months out of the year for the events, and for us to have one canceled, and we already had the build out of the tournament, so we had skyboxes, bleachers, everything was done, and we canceled, and everything went away, and then we were rescheduled, which was a great opportunity. Us taking a risk because there's certainly no ticket sales, there's certainly no concessions, food and beverage sponsors and pro-am spots and those, but we realized if we could be a part of the solution and getting back, with everything happening in the world, if we can do it right with the safety and well-being and of everybody being the utmost of importance and priority to us, But if there's an opportunity to do this, and then the eye in the sky and people watching on TV sees, Hilton Head Island, Harbortown Golf Links, South Carolina, and back doing business. It is I have a full-time staff of 11 employees, and it's one of those things, even my parents used to go, hey son, it's June, what are you going to do for the next 6 months? I'm like, Mom, Dad, give me some credit. There's
a lot,
but it's a team effort. I happen to be, whatever you want to say, the head coach, and I look at our director of sales and marketing is our offensive coordinator, and our vice president of operations is our defensive coordinator. We got a couple special team coaches and some other things, and that's how we do it. And working with the community and volunteers is obviously, you can't do it without them. And we've got a wonderful community and with people that give back and so forth.
We're talking with Steve Wilmont. We're talking with Steve Wilmont, tournament director of the RBC Heritage Classic at Harbortown Golf Links at Hilton Head, South Carolina. And Steve, what precautions do you have to take? Who's like, is the CDC, like, what guidelines are you following? What steps or measures are you taking to keep everybody safe?
Well, I mean, and that's, I don't know how much time we got on the show here. It's a tremendous effort, but it's the right thing. We've working with local and state authorities as well as the CDC, DHEC, these players, we are the second week. They will be at the Colonial, at the Charles Schwab Challenge in Fort Worth. Players are being tested and caddies right now. It's that 2-week window kind of thing, too, just in case anybody's positive. They'll be tested on site. And then there's two 737 Boeing charters that will be flying from Colonial on Monday morning of the tournament to come to us. And then we'll receive the players and the caddies, and obviously there'll be others on site and so forth. But they'll all be tested here. There's a third party working with the tour. We have the facilities. We've been working with them to set that all up, and player registration, caddy registration, as well as the rules official, staff, and all that will be tested, will be done off-site, have the results in no longer than 4 to 6 hours, if not quicker, and then they'll be allowed on the property. And then we have a bubble, basically, the golf tournament. There'll be, where we're used to having 135,000 fans, we're probably going to have 500 to 1,000 people that might be on the site, and that's between the players, caddies, officials, and some volunteers. And then, the CBS has their own structures and testing in place. But everybody is thermal tested or thermal tested via the whole or the cameras on site to get on the property. So it's going to be a completely different feel. And for me to think about how I never see golf because of, visiting sponsors and crowd control, looking at everything on the outside of the ropes. But this is all about competition inside the ropes. And we're going to have some crowd control things we're going to have to address for the sake of safety. And, we're not like Colonial. Colonial is a huge core golf course with a big old fence all the way around it. And they've got a beautiful facility and things, but there's no homes on the golf course where we cut through a community, and there's going to be a lot of parties on people's back decks. I can tell you that. We're not encouraging it, but it's something that we're certainly monitoring and all.
Hey, Steve, we talked earlier in the week. You told me that it's going to be a big field. All the big names are going to be there, but you're going to have 144 golfers tee off. Is that more than normal, or is that right around the number that you usually have?
No, we're an invitational. We're one of the 4 invitational. You have the 4 majors, and then you have the World Golf Championships, and then you have 4 invitationals, and the 4 invitationals happen to be Colonial, Memorial, and Bay Hill. But so we normally have a field of 132 players, but due to the fact that the tour hasn't been playing, they wanted to expand our field, all the fields to at least 144 to give some additional players playing opportunities because of us being a limited field and not 144 or 56 or 170 in some. But the interesting thing is our field is so strong. We currently sit, and this is live because I just looked at it before I got on the air with you. We're at 157 players in our field. Wow. And how that works is, you sit here as an invitational, but it's just like when you send invitations to a wedding, you hope everybody doesn't show up, and they,
Right.
this is the good news. This will be, and I really can't, I can't mention because he's referenced, he's going to play here, but we do have Rory McIlroy is definitely playing here, the number one player in the world, but this will be the strongest field we've ever had, and it's exciting to have some players here that haven't been here, some players that never been here, but some that haven't been here in many years, and it's great. It's unfortunate we're going to have people in South Jersey and elsewhere can watch it, but the locals I feel bad for because we're going to have incredible people, but they just can't come out and watch.
Well, Steve, listen, man, we got to wrap it up. I just want to say, it's pretty cool that you're from South Jersey. I know you spent your summers in Ocean City.
Yeah.
I think. By the way, did you ever hold a job in OC, or you just came down there for R&R?
No, I actually worked. I was actually a couple of things. I worked at UPS. I was a sort reporter and driver's helper. I worked from 9th Street to 59th Street. I'll never forget that my house was at 405 36th Street between Central and Asbury, and
that's awesome,
the
man.
fond memories. And I remember working at Summers Point Circle there at well, I don't want to talk about Anchorage and Tony Martz and those guys.
Well, the Anchorage is still there, but Tony Martz is long gone.
At the Crab Trap, yeah.
Hey, Steve, listen, we got to wrap it up. I really want to thank you so much. It was really cool to hear from you. And I'm so happy that you're going to be able to give out another plaid jacket this year.
You bet, yeah. But Billy, thank you. Scott, thanks so much. Anytime I can, assist you guys, I appreciate you thinking of me and us down here. And be sure to tune in a couple weeks on CBS and the Golf Channel for sure.
Sounds good. We'll be watching.
Thank you so much. There he is, Steve Wilmont, tournament director of the RBC Heritage Classic down there in South Carolina. I want to thank Steve so much. First Hour Locker Room was powered by Surety Title. Surety is a worldwide leader with a team of experts who will help you through the entire process from contract signing to closing, from the shortest center city and every place in between. Surety Title is there for you. Call Ron Conklin at 856-988-8900. And, hey, friends, let me tell you about Maserati, the main line, located minutes from downtown Philadelphia. They offer a customer-focused car buying experience designed to exceed all expectations and invite you to stop in and learn about their entire line of premium luxury vehicles. Maserati, the main line, is a leader in Maserati-certified pre-owned sales. Maserati of the main line offers free pickup and delivery for scheduled service appointments and provides new Maserati loaner cars. So add a little bit of flair to your next new vehicle. Contact my good friend Michael Pileggi at Maserati of the main line today at 484-804-4800. That's 484-804-4800. Or visit them online at any time at motml.com. And just about everybody on air has heard about the Jersey Man and Philly Man magazine, run by ex-Philadelphia tight end Ken Dunnick. But they have that Legacy Club. You want to sign up for that? If you have any interest to be a part of the Legacy Club, send an email to Ken at jerseymanmagazine.com or call him at 856-912-4007 for more information. All right, when we return, we'll continue with more. Wrap up the first hour of the locker room with Billy Schweim on 97.3 ESPN and the 97.3 ESPN mobile app.